50% of the people who came here prior to 1940 came on freight train, including lots of women.
Oh, all right.
All right?
The women rode the rail.
Sure, they rode the rail, and one of the trains that was coming out south at that time, after Scottsboro came, it was pretty dangerous to ride with a woman because they figured you was going to get involved with the woman. So we see a bunch of women on the train, you didn't want to get around those.
Okay.
Try to get as far
You
back.
didn't want that trouble.
No, because you don't want to get involved. You see, anything that. Of course, there was white women out there, black women out there, all kind of women out there.
Oh.
And then there were guys from Yale, Trusted, Dartmouth, who had dropped out of college. Their fathers had got broke.
Is that right?
I went to the West Coast with guys from Yale, Dartmouth, Trusted. Most of them had 1 or 2 years, and their parents had. These are all whites, you know.
Okay. So everybody, so you had
everybody went everywhere on the road.
You had a form of democracy brought about by the
We would be on the freight train the same way birds would be on the telephone line.
My God.
All on the top, anywhere they could get, in the blind and all that stuff. And that's what we did.
Okay. And it was all a total cross section of people.
Everybody was on the bump. The whole country was hungry. See, Bing Crosby had went out to Hollywood in his Model T Ford, you know. And I would say that was the level in which Americans probably had a closer polarization on the basis of the level of poverty than ever in history. So you could sit out and eat with anybody because you were lucky you had something to eat.
Okay.
And the guys would polarize, you know, put the money together, pool it.
So the class lines
were
blurred.
Blurred at that time. You may be eating with a guy whose father had once been a millionaire, but who had jumped out the one, you know, and committed suicide.
Get my notebook.
So those things happen.
I'll be right back.
My mind. If you don't like them, we can change it. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Cause I'm open.
You know what's really on my mind now is, as I say, most of us came here to the auto industry and lured on by the idea of Ford and the $5 a day.
Right.
Reckoning General Motors, Chrysler, all those. I worked at Chrysler for a long time.
Right, that's what brought my father up here.
I even worked on the WPA here. And I went to George Trade School here. Took up machine 2, but I never did do machine 2 because in those days you got only 60 cents an hour for a apprentice program. And they paid 68 cents an hour, and Chrysler wasn't the highest end, so I went to Chrysler. Now you wouldn't think the 68 cents was lots of money, but in those days...
8 cents would make that much difference, but it did.
68 cents was like $10 an hour today, okay? Wow. And if you brought home $38.16 a week, you was rich.
Okay.
And that's amazing, but that's true. Because you got to remember, there was 7-cent loaf of bread and a 10-cent loaf of bread. There was 11-cent cigarettes and 13-cent cigarettes, and there was 11-cent gas and there was 13-cent gas. And that lasts up to the war, you see. Pork chop was 17 cents a pound, steak was 23 cents a pound, egg was 17 cents a dozen. Okay? So...
Eggs, 17 cents a dozen?
17 cents a dozen. You ought to get some of the old papers down there and look them up and see what the prices of things were back in the 40s. And even throughout the duration of the war, because prices didn't go up because they had price controls. And, but I just think about everything that lured people to the city, including the people that St. Clair Lewis used to write about that came down from Minnesota, Milwaukee to Chicago to slaughterhouse. Same thing happened here. We came pouring in here to work in the auto industry, and that's gone. So what brought us here is suddenly in my generation no longer exists. The Industrial Revolution suddenly is disintegrated completely, and what's left for the residue of the multinational now is took it abroad. And you say to yourself, now here is all these peoples who were lured here 30 and 40 years and 50 years ago.
To the promise.
And whatever they were lured here about is no longer there. I see, because now I look on the street every day and I see all these young men standing on the corner. It used to be you could drop out, even when Kenny was growing up, You could drop out of high school, you could always get your old slave out there at Ford. You know, in the factory. You didn't have to stand on the corner.
Right.
8th grade kid, as long as he could pick up something, he had a job. And that was white or black. Nowadays, there's no place to do but stand on the corner. So we have what used to be the people who would went into the Ford and the factory.
There's no place for
There's
them.
no place for them to go. So you see that great transition. And it took place in such a very short time, you see. Now I thought that the closer we got to where there probably could have been some kind of assimilation of all the mother cultures in the United States was around 1946. I think that's the last time it was a possibility. Because all the things, economic and social things, were coming together. And the people were still looking at the United States as a North-South thing. You know, up here people say, I wouldn't live down south. I wouldn't go down there. I wouldn't be down there. All of us had just left there, you know. Because, see, I came on the base of Richard Wright stuff. You know, all the lies they told about going up north and getting you to go back. You could cuss white people out and nobody would go home until they got an old piece of coffee. And then they come back down and tell us all them lies about how good it was up north. Okay, so that part of the thing would lose me as well. But that's gone.
That's gone. What do we have in its place?
We haven't got nothing yet in this place. Which means that this probably is the most challenging period in the history of this country.
People are not moving from the...
Because even though...
But we thought the great panacea was going to be our
We thought it was going to last forever.
We thought our black leadership was going
to merge in the same period. But you see what happened? The black leadership come when the country began to crumble. The industrial base, which had been the basis of it. Now, see, you remember I wrote a little pamphlet called The City's Black Man Land. And I was trying to trace how historically in this country there's been a pattern. Whatever group that was the largest ethnic minority always took over the city. If you was Irish, Italian, Jew, in the New England states, that was a pattern. Polish or whatever the largest ethnic group in that particular city or state vicinity, they generally got in power. At that particular junction in the 60s, blacks was on the threshold of that. And sure enough, it did begin to take place politically. But the economic base was not there.
There was nothing left to take over.
See, so we came in when the house, as Malcolm X said, the house was falling apart. He said burning down, but it was falling apart. So, in other words, we come in on the end, which has been tradition. You know, but, so when blacks came into power, there was no base there for it. And then we also come at the stage in which most everything east of the Mississippi was on welfare. Most people don't recognize it. All cities since the 30s has been on welfare. Now what I mean by that, Miss, was the police was subsidized by the tax come back. They don't do with their money, all right. You know, the money went to Washington. Government subsidized everything. So most cities had been on, prior to that, they had been on private capital subsidized, you know, because everybody was working. But now nobody's working, so all the cities have been on welfare, particularly all the cities east of the Mississippi River. Well, this is where blacks was predominantly at. And so blacks was coming in power in those particular areas. But those areas themselves was getting in economic trouble. And for a short while you thought, well, maybe they would run back down south, which they did do, or they go west. But that wasn't enough, because this is where
the concentration
of forces was in the Midwest and the East Coast. Steel mills. And you go up to Buffalo now, you know the Buzzards has taken over that steel mill. You go up to Minnesota, and the Seagulls has taken over steel mills. Huge steel mills. Up there in the Taconite fields. The Buzzards is there. Sleeping in them big camps, which they had for those steel mills up there, and that iron ore, you know, coming off the Minnesota range. And you say to yourself, Jesus, a whole change has taken place, and nothing to fill that vacuum.